Hello from the brutal capitalist dictatorship of Kuala Lumpur. Today I'm with my friend, Comrade Rice, who is unfortunately unable to show his face today because his camera is not working. Say hi, Ken.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, it's good to hear from you. How's everything in Kazakhstan?
Very cold, but everything's good.
Right. Cool. Awesome. All right then. You haven't frozen to death. That's all good. Yes, we want you back in Malaysia. So make sure nothing bad happens to you, yeah? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, all right. So right, I'm gonna share screen now. I have something interesting to show you, right? Now, hello, this Jackson Hinkle is somebody that you might be quite familiar with, right? And I'm sure you know this
Yeah,
gentleman. Yes, this gentleman here claims to be a socialist, right? Marxist-Leninist.
yeah.
And as you know, Marxism-Leninism is supposed to be a dialectical philosophy. That means you're not supposed to throw in your personal fifis, your personal emotions into it, right? And yet,
Yeah.
let's take a look at what Jackson Hinkle has to say about well, people he deems degenerate. Let's look. Okay, where's the play? Oh,
Here's
yeah, there we are.
here's the thing, everybody. If you are gay, a whore, or a satanic anti-human scum, I wouldn't be surprised if you oppose Hamas or the Houthis or Hezbollah. I wouldn't be surprised if you support the imperialists against Bashar al-Assad. I wouldn't be surprised if you oppose Putin's Russia or Xi Jinping's China. None of it would surprise me. Here's the thing, everybody. If you are gay,
If you are gay,
a whore,
whore,
or a satanic anti-human scum,
or satanic anti-human scum. Goodness gracious me, that's very dialectical. That's very, very objective and rational, isn't it? Now,
Yeah.
yeah, so Hinkle basically is now the darling of the Midwestern Marx organization. You know, they're all fawning over this fellow. And Midwestern Marx, as you know, is the mainstream American school of socialism, basically. They give classes on Marxism. And what is your take on this? Why is it that they're going all out to defend Hinkle and they're basically saying that if you don't like Hinkle, you're a purity fetishist and you're a leftist who's never read Marx.
So I don't quite understand where they're getting this idea that that Marxist-Leninism is the only socialist philosophy in the world,
Mm,
as if you don't believe in this particular thinking, this particular philosophy, then you're like some kind of fake, as they claim we are, right? And then
they
this
treat
whole,
you like a degenerate if you don't believe in Marxism. They treat you like a reactionary automatically. Yeah.
yeah, they have their terms twisted. They have different meanings to what we actually are saying. So like, yeah, if you disagree with anything with about their what they're saying, then it's like, yeah, they try to pin you as the reactionary and you're some kind of backwards and regressive person. And then this other thing that's killing me, that's getting on my nerves when they talk about this purity fetish nonsense, because what is this purity stuff coming from? What does that mean? I don't get it. So we're supposed to just accept everyone who says they're a Marxist, even though they're currently doing bad things or they've done something that they've never apologized for. I don't believe that. So
Exactly.
I've been messaging, I've been leaving comments on this guy Hinkle's his tweets, and people are like, "Oh, you have a purity fetish. You have a purity fetish," and I'm like, "But you all have purity fetishes. Isn't the fact that they're saying like um you should accept even the like, for example, they'll say like the working class people who are conservative. They're saying we should accept these people, right? But isn't it a purity fetish, like how this guy in the beginning of the video saying if you're gay, a whore, and a anti-human satanic scum, isn't that a purity fetish in itself?
Exactly.
Isn't that a contradiction in the same sentence?
Yes. Why did he have to throw that in? Right? Why did he have to single out those the gay community and the prostitutes? Now, we both know that prostitutes are highly exploited and highly vulnerable people, but the way he said whore is he wasn't saying it as if they were victims of a rapacious and exploitative system. He was saying it with contempt, as if they were moral
Yeah.
failings, right? Like whore and gay. The way, did you see the look in his eyes? The way his eyes lighted up with hatred when he said gay. Did you see that?
Yeah, and the words he used, it's kind of like he could have used better words to not kind of, you know, make it seem like these are bad people, because not everybody who are those things are bad people. It's just like you said, circumstances. These people are in that position because they were exploited, for example.
Yeah.
And then another thing is he said scum. Scum is a negative word, but he put it in the same list as the first two.
Yes.
So what exactly is satanic? What is anti-human scum? What does that mean? He's using a lot of reactionary words to talk about the people who he dislikes, but then he calls us purity fetishes because we don't accept right-wing people or conservative people who do bad things.
Exactly. It's not that we have a problem with people with a conservative lifestyle. Like you visited Malaysia, I took you around, and we went and saw ordinary working class people, and you notice that ordinary working class people don't talk like that. If even if they disapprove of homosexuality, they don't talk about it in such an abrasive and hateful way, right? I mean, you met
No, not
working,
at all.
yeah.
I was there. I was there, and I was when I was walking around with my camera and shooting videos, I took a seat because I was tired from walking and thirsty. And I sat at a kind of like, I don't know, like some kind of outdoor cafe or something. And there were a lot of conservative people there, but I didn't feel any threatened. I didn't feel bad. They didn't make me feel like uncomfortable. Like I was perfectly fine. They sat down and that was it. They just smiled at me and they said hello, and that was it.
And you
There was
had
no
your
hate.
you had your face done up like mine as well, right? You
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you
And
had
yeah,
your eyeliner
and
on, and yeah.
oh
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I had all that stuff on and nobody
you know
cared.
the
They just
sorry.
mhm.
You know the crazy thing? I think Muslims in Malaysia, even those who are on the more conservative side, are more tolerant than people like Jackson Hinkle and his friends. What do you think? Like,
Yeah, I say so.
yeah,
I think this is the case because like
they are to the left of Jackson Hinkle. Yeah, sorry.
absolutely. And like people in the West are what I call Anglo-Stan, which is America, or all of the English-speaking Anglo countries. They're even if they claim to be secular or not as open, they're far more close-minded than the Muslims in Malaysia, the conservative Muslims.
Which is funny
Much
because
more
we are supposed to be a conservative, backward Islamic country, but you felt safe here, right? Like,
extremely safe. Yeah, way
yeah,
safer than anywhere in New York, for example.
yeah. And the thing is that these people are disingenuous because they're trying to make the working class people around the world seem like bigots. They're projecting their own bigotry on the working class people of the world. Can I show you a tweet that I saved? Just give me a minute. I need to share screen first. Okay. Here we are. Where of oh, this horrible man. Don't want to see his face anymore. Where's the button? Okay. I need to close this. Okay. Right. Let's go back to the to my page, and we'll take a look at where is my page? Comrade Confucius. Okay, here we are. Right. This is a tweet that I pinned, right? Now, this guy is saying it's 2024. The vast majority of people are disgusted by LGBT. This Harold is one of these MAGA communists, the Jackson Hinkle, Douglas Kim, Infrared Hearts gang, right? Oh, that's your
Yeah.
comment.
Yep, that's me. I wrote that. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Says you can't be LGBTQ and a communist, but I find it very disingenuous because there's one part when he said that he was trying to stand with the people of the world. I'm trying to look for that tweet when he said, "I stand with the people of the world um, who do not accept this kind of thing." Right? Can you just just give me a minute to find
Yeah,
it?
well, I'll speak on and then while I'm
Yeah, no
researching.
worries.
What I want to say to this guy is, what happened to purity fetish?
What
What
happened to
happened to
purity fetish?
yeah?
Yeah.
What happened to not being a purity fetish? And he's over here talking about, oh, you can't be LGBTQ and communist at the same time. Well, okay, you can't be American and communist at the same time because
Mm.
the American communists, as they're claiming themselves as, is just conservatism.
Absolutely. That's it. Found it. See, I stand with the people of the world, not imperialist social agendas. Of course, if he had any inkling of history, he would know that the Sultans of Malaya had Sida, third gender priests, right? And, it wasn't this anti-degenerate 1950s sort of world in the days before colonialism. They're projecting basically the 1950s Anglo-Christian culture on everybody. Yeah. See, it's very, very
Yeah.
disingenuous to say I stand with the people of the world. I'm part of the people of the world. I'm part of the Socialist Party Malaysia, and we have openly gay comrades, right?
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and also like he's talking about Africa. They always pick the most extreme cases, it seems. They
Mm,
always pick the ones where they pick the most extreme society that agrees with them or society that they would like to have.
yeah.
So, for example, Uganda, I think, is one of those countries where it's like completely illegal. It's like you'll be thrown in prison if you're openly gay. And if you watch the politicians of that country, the people will say like, "Oh, this is our tradition, and we will not stand for these Western people imposing their Western values on our tradition." But then they're wearing wigs.
They're wearing a suit,
Yeah,
wigs,
they're
costume
wearing
wigs. They're wearing Western
yeah.
haircuts. They're speaking in a European language. They're okay with Western culture, actually. They're perfectly fine. They just find homosexuality ickish because of colonial hangover, right? And they are just pretending that that's part of the African culture, the hatred for homosexuality, when in the ancient world, people didn't have that kind of revulsion for homosexuals. It's a modern Anglo-Christian thing.
Well, here's another one. Here in Kazakhstan, I mean, I don't know much about, you know, the lifestyle of, you know, I met one guy from, I guess he was from Nigeria, he said, and he was talking to me and he was like disgusted because I think he said in Russia or in Kazakhstan, they have very high divorce rates. And he was making a thing about like, oh, these people, they don't value marriage and it's against my tradition and blah, 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 blah. I said, but dude, you're wearing white man clothes, speaking a white language. You're doing everything you say that you're against. This is exactly what you're doing. It's just this one thing that you don't like. Of course, he gets offended and he starts getting mad at me. But I said, but it's the truth.
Mm.
Why do you make such like that's the thing about with especially these MAGA communists and these people here like Carol, they're trying to repaint, like I said, they hijack everything and they make that group that they just hijacked try to make it as if everybody in that group that they hijacked like them.
Hmm. Agrees with them. I mean, yeah, they try and make it as if
Yeah,
everybody in the group agrees with them, right?
yeah, exactly.
And these people are particularly dangerous because I've said that, one drop of poison spoils the wine. If you let these people into our revolutionary movement, what's going to happen is that they're going to steer it in the wrong direction because they don't like the direction we're going. Of course, they want the title of communist because it's cool, right? They think it's cool, but they're
Yeah.
going to steer it in the wrong direction and lead the people down reactionary ways, right? They're gonna lead them down reactionary road, and they're basically going to drop the socialist label or communist label once they get some proximity to capital, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 100%.
Hmm.
And which leads me to my thing that I really want to say. Here's the thing, like you get called banana, I get called Oreo, right?
Yeah, by this fella in
And
particular, yeah.
yeah, by this guy.
Remember this
And
guy, he called me a banana, not just a banana, he calls me a chink now. He
well,
says
yeah,
this guy is
that,
like the chink version of Drew Pavlou, but even dumber and less able to troll, so that no one cares about him. But let's see the source of his grievances. Why was he so upset? Well, this is my tweet. Was it really that offensive? What are three things Mahathir Mohamad and Jackson Hinkle have in common? They really dislike Indians. They both chant free Palestine. Well, let's see what he says. Bitch, I won't fuck you. You'll have better luck with men in India. Am I not pointing out the truth? See? He doesn't
yeah,
like Indians. So this is the
yeah,
truth. The first one is true. They both chant free Palestine. Yeah, that's true, right? And we socialists in the global south want nothing to do with them. PSM member here. Everything is true, right? We don't want anything to do with Mahathir or Hinkle, right? Um,
yeah.
and now he's going, I'm an actual global south socialist, and yet he says this guy is the version of Drew Pavlou, even dumber and less able to throw. So nobody cares about him, although I have three times the number of YouTube supporters he does. He's been on my back for almost 2 years, you know. He's remember this Douglas Kim? He was upset about me because I made fun of his Lord and Savior, Infrared Heart.
You have that photo that I made? Do you still have that photo?
Yeah, I do actually. Just give me a
We
minute.
can show that if you'd like. The reason why I'll talk to the audience. The reason why I mentioned that is because that first sentence he wrote, it's like that sounds very white supremacist of him to say that slur right there.
Damn, I think I deleted it.
Because
Sorry. Do you have
oh,
it?
you deleted it?
I can download it again. Oh, you keep talking to the audience. I'll try and find it.
Yeah, so I think this guy, as well as others like him, are the house slaves, and they're trying to crack the whip on you because you're the field slave trying to speak out the truth. And if you are a house slave, you have a lot more benefits of being so by following the person who's making you look good. Like he every time when someone attacks Jackson Hinkle, for example, you know how defensive they get. So it's kind of like he has his own kind of Stockholm syndrome with this guy. So because you pointed him out, he got offended. Just like that movie, I don't remember the name of the movie, where with that guy that was very overprotective of his slave master. Yeah, that one. That's right.
Remember the movie Django Unchained? Yeah. Ken made this. He made this meme for us. Yeah. Yeah, so basically Ken is saying like Douglas Kim is like the house slave protecting his white master.
Yes,
Yeah. So
exactly.
yeah. So he is basically, he keeps saying, I'm an unapologetic Asian man, I'm not like those cuts, who bow to the Western hegemony. I dance to my own tune. But
Yet
how
he lives in the West.
yeah.
He lives off the blood and sweat of the global South in the West.
Yeah.
He doesn't go to the Asian part of the global South. He only goes to the global North part of Asia.
He went to Singapore, the most
Or
westernized country in Asia.
exactly.
Yeah. It's even more.
And I don't see him, for example, he says he's unapologetically Asian. I don't see him, for example, like you mentioned, he doesn't go to ghettos and talk to the poor Asians that live in those ghettos because a lot of them suffer a lot of racism from the Afro-Saxons there. There's a lot of poor working class Asians that their voices don't get heard. I don't see him connecting with them. He only seems to connect with other rich upper class Asians that who also have money. So he doesn't care about Asians. He just cares about people who have money.
He seems to only stick to wealthy white collar people, and of
Yeah.
course he says that we hate the working class, but I don't. He will tell you that he and Jackson Hinkle and all of them will tell you that these leftists hate the working class, but I don't see them trying to connect with the working class. MAGA doesn't count, yeah. Those rich boat owners in MAGA don't count. Um, Now there are some people in MAGA who are struggling genuinely, and we should connect with them, but I don't see them speaking up for the rights of the downtrodden. They call themselves socialists or communists, but I don't see them calling out crooked bosses. I don't see them calling out this rapacious, exploitative system of capitalism. Have you ever heard these guys condemning capitalism once? You hear them condemning LGBT all the time or condemning prostitutes all the time. People like Samir Khan or Hinkle or Douglas Kim. Have you ever heard them condemning capitalism?
Never.
Never.
The only time I would ever hear them condemning capitalism is if the current upper class is over exploiting that these people are getting affected. Then they'll stand up against capitalism to the
Mm,
point where they have no choice but to turn to socialism because they themselves are being overly exploited. But the
mm.
problem is they'll be socialists for just a little while. Like you said, they'll get a little bit of capital and then they want nothing to do with socialism.
They will become
So
like
it's
Thomas Sowell, right? Thomas Sowell was a
yeah, they
Marxist as well once, and that's what he claims. Then he became Milton Friedman's right-hand man, right?
exactly, yeah.
So they're going down the same road as Thomas Sowell, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And it is one more thing, there's one more thing also I want to bring up about your last video. Remember the tweet you showed me of a guy who well, the comment who said you were distasteful because you wouldn't
yeah.
sob over the
Gonzalo Lira, that
yeah,
alt-right passport bro who hates Muslims and hates China with a passion, and who said the same
yeah,
Chinese went to Taiwan. And yeah, I'm supposed to cry over Gonzalo Lira, Jackson Hinkle's good friend. I have that comment. Let's see what he says. Okay, he says that okay, this is the comment. I don't like him that much as a person, but it's really tasteless to throw shit on a man who just got tortured for using his First Amendment. And you were talking about religion in another video? Go repent or something. I'm not a Christian. Your mental illness is emanating too strongly for you to be making content right now. It's bad for communism. You're helping the enemy. Yes, that's what he said.
oh my goodness. So here's the thing. I'm sorry, but he's in Ukraine, right? I'm sorry. When did Ukraine adapt American laws, Constitution? Why do Americans always assume that everywhere Americans go, they have the same rights everywhere they go?
They're very American centric. Even remember Douglas
Yeah,
Kim said I was racist because I didn't like rap music. I said rap music was depraved. That's all I said, right? It was depraved and it had bad values. And then he goes like, this is a his Anglo worshipping comes full circle with this incredibly racist take, right? Why would
yeah.
he expect me to have an American consciousness, right? I don't think of rap music as being black. I don't think
Exactly.
yeah, I just don't like it. I prefer K-pop or I prefer Mando pop. I
But
don't understand
he,
Mandarin, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But then he calls you the C word right to your face.
Oh, he's
He's not
called
racist.
black people worse things than that. But yes, I mean, his friend actually called them farm equipment. Not him personally, but his friend, and he didn't call her out for that. So yes, he called me the C word though.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty right. So I'm not allowed to say things that are I don't know, remotely politically incorrect, but he can call me a chink outright because he's Asian as well. Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing, so you know how they're saying like, oh, they exposed the Nazis, but who funded these Nazis? Once again, they're fighting against Nazis that was backed by the US, but then they're pro-American. So you're pro-Nazi funding American while you're against the Nazis who's funding the Nazis. I mean, you're against the Nazis who's being funded by Americans. It just doesn't make any sense. This logic.
Yeah, it's
Should it
America
be, should it,
itself funded the Ukrainian Nazis, and these people like Jackson Hinkle are putting the communist flag with the Star Spangled Banner. They call Luna Oil a white male Asian female basket case, I think. Remember how
Yeah.
they attacked Luna Oil viciously? And I think it was
Yes.
Haas said something like, if you hate the American flag so much, why are you fucking an American man? And of course, Douglas Kim hates Luna Oil, of course, because she's got a white husband, I think, and who's a socialist, but doesn't really matter. They don't really care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he seems to hate all Asian women with white men for some reason.
For some strange reason, right?
Yeah.
But Luna Oy has a right to hate the American flag. I hate the American flag, and so do you. And yet they'll
Yeah.
say that we hate the American working class.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I left a comment on his that photo that he made, and I said, please take off the hammer and sickle with the American flag because it's the same thing as having the hammer and sickle with the Japanese imperialist flag, the Confederate flag, the Nazi flag, because it's all the same thing. And people acted like there was a bunch of bees that stung him or something. You
Yeah.
know, like, no, you see, because not all American working class is going to. They were saying like some people see the American flag as a good thing, but it's like okay, but some Japanese see the imperialist flag as a good thing. Some Germans see the Nazi flag as a good thing. Some people see the Confederate flag as a good thing, and
Yes, and unfortunately, that flag is a very offensive flag for many of the global South, much of the global South, pardon me. They 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 how does this work? They say that they are anti-imperialists, and they also say that communism will be the new manifest destiny. This is provocative. They use those
yeah,
exact words, manifest destiny.
yeah.
What are they trying to say?
Yeah, because yeah, it's just right wing talking points. It's like take if there was ever a red pill book, the red pill community, and I think this Lira person, what's his name again?
Gonzalo Lira,
Gonzalez
Coach Red Pill.
Lira, wrote a book like a red pill book or a red pill guidebook. All they would have to do is just slap the hammer and sickle and the word socialist in front of the book, and that's socialism to them.
Yeah, socialism is basically anything that agrees with them, right?
Yeah,
They just want that label because they think it's cool, right? They because they associate it with big, strong macho men like
exactly.
Stalin, right?
Yeah,
But I think
yeah, exactly.
you know they they don't care about the working class. That's the thing. They spend all their time talking about the globalists, the evil globalists, or
Yeah.
the LGBT imperialists who want to bomb Palestine. And that's the thing. It really irritates me when they say shit like, oh, these woke people, once they find out how conservative Palestinians are, they're gonna turn around and support Israel. I've seen them say that shit before. It really irritates me because who are you to speak on my behalf, right? Even if everyone in Gaza hated me, I would still support them, right? Because as socialists, our duty is to stand for the downtrodden, right? Do they not
Yeah.
understand that as a socialist? Well, because they're not socialists. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so basically they're just right wingers just hijacking the name socialists. And then because you and I are socialists, it's kind of like now we are expected to adhere to their version of socialism because of the name.
They've hijacked.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they've hijacked it. So if you say anything that they personally morally don't believe in, like Hinkle when he said like, "Oh, if you're gay, whore, and a scum," they will viciously attack you
Mm.
like a nutcase, like a bunch of idiots.
Mm. It's very, very frustrating because, you know, they are basically acting like they are the authorities on socialism, right? And
Yeah,
basically, we left on the left are degenerates, and basically I think Douglas Kim even said that, leftists are even more anti-communist than right-wingers. That's a very dangerous form of revisionism. It's not leftists who locked up communists, right?
Yeah.
It was Ronald Reagan and his gang who are going after communists, and I don't think Ronald Reagan was a lefty, right? He wasn't a leftist by any chance, by any was he? Was he a woke leftist who dyed his hair blue, Ronald Reagan?
No, no.
And yet we're supposed to be more anti-communist than Ronald Reagan. Make it make sense.
Also, one more thing I want to add to this too. One massive feature, how you can always tell who's really a right winger or a conservative, is the way they change your identity whenever it best suits them very quickly.
Hmm.
So, on one hand, they'll say to you, "You're Asian, so you need to do what a fellow Asian, say or believe in, right?" But then if you disagree with them, then suddenly you're British, you're white, right?
Yeah, some of them you
Then the
saw
next thing you know,
they call me
like
British,
yeah,
yeah.
like yeah, exactly. And then like Douglas Kim, for example, on one hand, he's Korean. The other hand, he's American. Another hand, he's just Asian without any identity because if you live in Asia, the country is your identity, not just the fact that you're Asian.
Hmm.
Next thing you know, he's saying Hinkle is Asian because he's more pro-Asian than you are, a global Southern Asian.
You know what's funny is that he may actually one day say that Comrade Confucius is a white man in Asian skin and Hinkle is an honorary Asian. That's what he might actually say one day,
Yeah,
I believe he might actually say just something like that. He might actually say Hinkle is more Asian than I am.
I
It's
think he did. I think he did in one recent tweet I saw.
Yeah,
He
he
said
said
something.
yeah, something about Hinkle being more pro-Asian than
Yeah,
100%
he's more pro-Asian than
Asian leftists. I don't know, man. Would you say that Hinkle is pro-Asian? It's not that he's attacked Asians. No, he hasn't said anything bad about them, but he is friends with Gonzalo Lira. Gonzalo Lira is a passport bro who encourages Western men to go to third world countries. And he also said, in these words, he said that you're going to be more interesting than the local guys, right? He said it to his followers because I've read Thomas Sowell's book. I actually watch lots of red pill videos because I need to understand my enemy's mind. So that's part of
yeah,
me. That Sun Tzu said, if you know your enemy as well as you know yourself, you
yeah,
will never have to fear defeat, right? So
yeah,
I know what Gonzalo Lira is about. Jackson Hinkle is his friend. Gonzalo Lira actually said the smart Chinese went to Taiwan, and Taiwan's a very respectable right-wing country, right? And
yeah.
that so he hates communism. How can Jackson Hinkle seriously be trusted if he keeps company with Gonzalo Lira?
Yeah, exactly. People, yeah, their actions is just like way too suspicious
Mm.
by associating themselves with right-wing people. Like I would never want to associate myself with, for example,
Anti.
Zionists.
Yeah, Zionist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like Zionists, for example, because they're evil people. If you see the things they do, I would want nothing to do with them. And even as a socialist, if you're trying to fight for the rights of the people, but you're seeing this particular group of people the way they're treating another group, I want nothing to do with them. But these people over here, they want to hang out with the most right-wing people possible. So it's kind of like I don't trust you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the globalists don't stand a chance. There's Hinkle, shoulder to shoulder with Jordan Peterson, smiling so happily. So I wouldn't want to associate with Jordan Peterson that way because you know what Jordan Peterson is, right? He's a Western chauvinist and a Zionist, right? And so,
Yeah.
so they are evil people. Yes. Peterson is a I can't even find the vocabulary strong enough which to express the opprobrium I have for him. He's, and Hinkle is his good friend. He's friends with all the worst people in America.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson, Gonzalo Lira, Samira Khan. Even Haas is not as bad as Hinkle. Say what we want about Haas. I think he's more moderate than Hinkle. I think Hinkle is
Yeah.
worse because Haas actually said he didn't hate gay people. He just He didn't. He said he didn't hate gays, but he doesn't like faggots. I'm not sure what he meant by that, but Hinkle openly hates gay people.
Yeah. And that's their purity fetish that they're claiming that we are doing. You
Yeah,
know, we're as if gays and whores and this other whatever scum is are not working class people.
exactly. That's the thing. They act as if these are not working class people. So they don't want socialism for everyone, only for people they like, right?
Exactly.
How
Right.
could you call yourself a socialist if you only want socialism for people you like? That doesn't make you a socialist. You only, you know,
Exactly. And
so
I just don't think they have the life experience of interacting with real working class people. So, for example, they don't go to Malaysia, for example, or they don't go to the ghetto. They don't talk to people. They don't interact with people. They don't live with the people. They live
above the people.
completely, yeah, they live above the people. So,
Yeah.
how could they speak for the people if they have no idea what goes on in their
Yeah.
lives?
They definitely do. They'll never visit a global South country like Malaysia. If they're coming to Asia, they might visit Singapore or South Korea or Japan, right? They're not going to visit a country like Malaysia. But a quick look at Hinkle's Instagram profile, and you'll find that or has he been kicked off Instagram? Damn, I think he has. Hang on a second. Oh, I oh, there he is. And you'll tell that you can see that this fellow is not he's not a working class hero. He lives above, hang on.
I see a lot of suits and ties.
Yeah, very bourgeois. Well, you can see, look at this smoking a cigar in a swimming pool in oh, there's him in Bali. Okay. I don't know why he went to Bali, but I don't want to make assumptions. There's him lighting a cigar in an exclusive place. I don't know where that is.
Place in.
Why he's posting about it on social media, and there's he what else? There's he playing golf at a Ponzi golf club, I think.
Yeah. Those are
And
all
this man,
bourgeois activities.
yes, everything he does is bourgeois, and this man clearly lives above the people. He, you know, he's not a he. He's a celebrity. I mean, well, he's a right-wing celebrity. And he's a careerist, not a socialist, because he charges, you know how much he charges? He charges people 15 ringgit, $3, $3 for his exclusive content, right? Now, if he was really speaking up for Palestine, if he's supposed to be the greatest voice for Palestine, like Douglas Kim and the rest of them say that he's the greatest voice for Palestine, why is he charging money for speaking up for Palestine? Why is he charging?
Yeah.
He's getting he's getting millions from this.
And I don't think he's donating those charges to the people who need help in Palestine either.
No, I don't think he is. Do you want to continue this in the next session? I can start another one. Yeah. Or do you want to
Sure.
wrap it up now? So it looks like time is up.
Okay, I guess we'll wrap it up for now.
Okay, well, good chatting with you, Ken, and we'll talk more about these crazy reactionaries in another when your
Okay,
camera gets up and working again. Take care, my
definitely.
friend. Yeah.
All right, take care.
Goodbye.
All right.